I'm not feeling it.
We gotta get out of this conversation. Yeah. So, Stranger Things 3. So, I think we're qualified to talk about this since.
Hey, spoilers ahead, just in case anybody's watching. We're gonna spoil it.
Okay, spoilers. All right, and I think we're just qualified because we're from Indiana.
We are very much from Indiana.
Even though it's
a fake town.
It's a fake fictional town, but I feel like it's about our town.
Feels kind of smaller than Fort Wayne, but yeah.
A little bit smaller for sure, but yeah.
I mean, but that mall was basically modeled.
Yeah.
If it had an ice rink, it would have been our mall.
Yeah. Is the ice rink even still there? Isn't it like a?
Well, it's long. The ice rink's long gone, but
it had one in the 80s.
But it probably is long gone because the Russians base exploded and melted all the ice.
That's what it was. You got it.
But I was thinking, what do you guys think of season 1 and 2 going into 3? Like, what would you guys rank?
1, 3, 2.
I agree. I agree with that. 2 is kind of a stinky pile, but it almost made season 3 better because 3 kind of worked off of a lot of season 2 and amended a lot of the errors in that season, and it felt a lot better. But season 1, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat the first season of a series like that ever, you know.
Yeah. Basically, the first season was like a mystery, like what's going on, what's happening, and then the other 2 are like, well, we're action movies now, so deal with it. Which I'm not against action movies, but it's just a totally different feel than the first season.
I agree.
So what I was thinking about was I love the 3rd season the best because of the Easter eggs.
I mean, there's Easter eggs in all 3 seasons, but yeah.
But like, you saw everything. Like you saw, so you saw like, I'll point out some Easter eggs like the Thing poster.
Yeah. They went into Back to the Future.
And then Back to the Future, and then what the monster you could tell. Okay, so apparently the kids love the movie Thing because
they talk about.
Yeah.
Do they actually talk about it?
No, they talk about John Carpenter's It.
Okay.
Or no, not. Yeah, it was the Thing. Yeah, John Carpenter's The Thing, right?
Yeah, Thing.
They talk about the remake because Lucas goes. I can't remember what he was talking about, but he's like, it's kind of like, he's talking about New Coke. Remember? He's like, New Coke and Coke are kind of like the Thing. Like the original's a classic, but New Coke is just something else. It's its own league.
Wait.
When they're in the supermarket.
Was he talking about Thing then? I can't.
Well, Thing. What do you mean by Thing then? Why would you?
Because Thing's a remake.
The Kurt Russell Thing is a remake of another thing?
Yeah.
Dude, didn't know that. Didn't know that. All right.
What if I'm completely wrong and I just
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
That it's worth it because you're wrong for the sake of making him look bad.
Maybe we're talking about 2 different
I did remember New Coke. I remember trying it back in the day, and it tasted weird.
There's a conspiracy that Coke only did that so that regular Coke numbers would go up when they re-released it, because they basically pulled all regular Coke from the shelves for New Coke, and then people hated it, so when they put regular Coke out, they had like record numbers sold.
Wow, that's capitalism.
Which is kind of a theme of season 3.
Well, okay, so I was, because they're against the Russians. You're right. I was gonna say one of the first Easter eggs I saw was Hopper was Magnum PI.
Yeah.
Like the Hawaiian looking shirt, the mustache. Yeah. You can make fun of him for it. And then what was kind of cool was Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future. They kept on calling him
Michael P. Keaton.
Yeah, from Family Matters or no Family.
I can't remember the name of the show.
Dude,
I was born after that show.
Yeah, it was. They were basically talking about a show that was in the 80s. Well, I'm 34. I was born in 1985. I was born
the year before this episode, or this season.
Well,
or the year after. I mean.
No, it's right after the Russians.
Yeah, it said
killed the first scientist.
Yeah, 84.
Year later, that's when I was born. Yeah, right.
Yes.
So it's 85, right when the show starts, right?
No, the show starts in 84.
84.
What it said at the beginning, anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but like, have you guys noticed any other Easter eggs or?
The Weird Al one was cool for me when she goes over. Will's mom, I guess Joyce, goes over and visits their science teacher, and he's teaching her about like how magnets can work and stuff, and they're playing My Bologna by Weird Al instead of My Sharona. My first concert I ever went to when I was a kid here in Indiana.
Same.
Weird Al. At the
You both went to Weird?
It was probably a different one because he comes through.
fairly often.
He's come through.
But I was probably
but it was my
10
first
or 12.
first concert as well. It was Weird Al. No,
And he did a lot of costume changes and stuff.
Yeah, the whole show is built on like it's built around homage and like cliche. It's all about. It really evokes nostalgic feelings or whatever, and that's so for that reason it gets away with a lot of stuff in my book or whatever, because not all of that stuff's Easter egg. Some of it's like in your face like the my bologna, you're hearing that or whatever. You're not supposed to miss it, but they get away with a lot of stuff because of that. Like I wouldn't let a lot of when he's fighting the Russian Terminator, right? Because that dude, they found the perfect actor for that role, right? He was the best 80s era henchman, right? He looked like he came out of that era, and he really looked a lot like a little Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is still a really big guy, but when him and like Hop are fighting or whatever, it's such an old action scene that's kind of sucky, right? But it's exactly what it's supposed to be.
It's kind of like
exactly what it's
Commando. You remember Commando?
Yeah,
It was kind of like Commando battle scene. You're right. I agree with you.
Like we wouldn't let a lot of that slide today, but it almost enhances it that it's there.
Well, Dustin and what's the guy with the hair?
Steve.
Dustin and Steve, the best characters on the show.
Yeah,
I think.
hands down. Two best
Dustin and Steve.
and they keep pairing them up together because they're like the comic relief. That cuts
Yeah.
that and Lucas's little sister, and they threw her in with them too.
Yeah, when they threw them in, I just remember from season 2, he told Dustin to wear the hairspray,
The Farrah faucet, and it's at his.
and then he's using it. Yeah, and he's using it in the beginning of the season 2.
Yeah.
He's spraying.
Sprays everybody in
Spray
the eye.
Lucas in the eye.
Yeah, and it's just kind of cool how they're building each character, which I mean at the end of season 3, you basically they're moving, and it's basically doing that whole. Season 4 is going to be awesome because she lost her powers. In Russia, they have one of the
Americans. Oh, what? One of the Demogorgons.
Demogorgons. Yeah, is the American
Hopper.
It's probably
It's Hopper?
People
It's-
say it's Hopper, or it could be one of the scientists from the original place. in Hopper.
It's possible. So my thing on that is, in thus far in the series, I cannot. Since it's been long enough since like the first season that I could be wrong on this, but they really have gone out of their way to show when a character dies, if not right when it happens, later. Like
Right.
Barb or whatever, you don't technically see when she dies, but they circle back around. You find her corpse, right? You really do see people get
It
off.
even showed
Croak
on
for
purpose the other
Croak
Russians.
for good. It shows all the other Russians get vaporized and him not. That dude's been in the Upside Down before, and I had
What's he eating?
I had expected him to
I thought he went
duck
into,
out.
I thought he was in the Upside Down world. I don't think he's in the prison.
Well, the thing is,
But the Russians could have found a way.
the Russians have a Demogorgon, right? So they had to get it from somewhere. So he could have theoretically come
and
out
that's why they didn't
elsewhere.
Want to feed him
It is kind of because obviously they're like going over to America because they're having issues with the like stability of opening the gate and whatnot. But that, I mean, they can write anything into existence, and I think perhaps maybe that's why they left it ambiguous, is so that if they want to bring his character back, they still have an out. Somehow they just have to write in, oh, there was a scene where along their way of trying to get this shit to work, they opened the door a little bit for a while, and
So my
here he
theories
comes
are
popping out.
this. Hopper was like, write me out because I got Hellboy, and then all of a sudden Hellboy tanked, and he's like, whoa, they brought up the mystery, and then which I still need to see that movie, but he also, if he went into the Upside Down world, I just picture him being like, what's that movie with Robin Williams, Jumanji? I feel like he'll be like Robin Williams' character and just come back with a beard and like he's eating demigorgons to survive. And,
Right.
Either that or get caught by the Russians.
The Russian thing with the demigorgon, why are they feeding them humans when we've seen them eat deers? Like, why? They could just bring him an animal. They don't need to feed him, I assume, prisoners. That's like...
I think it's really the Russian thing to do, though. Like
it's the Russian thing to
do. They're always like making Russians out to be a little colder than normal.
I just feel like it's easier to procure animals than it is human beings.
You're right. Maybe they're making him like a perfect soldier. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably what they're going for.
He had a human body, though. That was kind of weird, wasn't it?
They always did.
No, the Demogorgon
had a human body.
The like Demodog or whatever from the second season.
Yeah.
Which I think it's funny that
isn't the Demodog just like
he tried to sell that name and it didn't go over that well because that name sucks. I think that was, but
I thought the Demodogs were just Demogorgons that hadn't grown up yet. Isn't that right?
Which very well could be, but nonetheless, that's why their body shape is different or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, the original Demogorgon was large and in charge and more
bipedal.
Yeah. Almost.
So I think we probably should move on. You guys want to talk about Pokemon? Or?
I mean, you guys don't really know much about Pokemon, so it's just
complaining. What are you going to complain about, though?
So it's coming out for a home console, the Switch. It's the first ever main series game that's not on a handheld device. They're using the exact same graphics, like they're basically taking the exact same character models that already exist on DS and moving them to a home console. And they're not going to put all the past Pokemon in it. And they're saying it's because they're improving the graphics. Every trailer they've shown so far, the graphics are the same as they've always been. Literally, there's a new dog Pokemon, and he just shakes back and forth for a move called Tail Wag. And literally, they showed like Flareon from the 1998 Nintendo 64 game had more body movement than this Tail Wag. Like it moved its whole, like it swayed its hips. Like it's more than just shaking the character model.
Wait, so tell about so it's moving on to Switch instead of DS or anything.
Right.
So is that making people mad because they have to buy a Switch?
No, people aren't mad about that. If it's a good game, who cares? I mean.
But you just want the original characters also.
I want all of the Pokemon in it because I mean, random people have random favorites. All of my favorites are probably going to be in it because I'm not very original. I like the ones that are popular, I guess.
Yeah.
But like somebody's favorite Pokemon is some random Pokemon, like Sunflora, let's say. Just a random like flower Pokemon. It sucks. It's not good at anything, but it's a sunflower.
But whoever's favorite Pokemon is a Sunflora doesn't deserve to have Sunflora in the game. Because that just sounds awful. But like, is that the little smiley sunflower thing?
Yeah, that's from the second. And he'll probably be in it, to be honest. But like random stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
It's not necessarily my favorite, but like, you know.
It's probably going to be picked up by a lot of younger kids, younger generation. They'll probably like it. But which will piss you off even more.
It doesn't matter. No, I mean, I'd like other people to be into Pokemon. You know, it's fine. But I wish they had a higher difficulty. Like when Black and White came out, they had if you beat it the first time, you could turn on higher difficulty, and the other trainers that you fought would be smarter. They'd switch out Pokemon when they're weak against that type or something like that. You get more experience for fighting them or less experience, I think, so it was harder. Like it was more fun because they had different difficulties for if you are more experienced or an adult, you know. And everything now, like Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, totally geared towards children. There's no, like they may even take out breeding, which is like a big part of like competitive Pokemon, so you can like get perfect stats and perfect moves on people. There's not even confirmation.
What is their out then? Because there's no way they can just off breeding with no alternative.
Well, so check this out. Have you watched any of the trailers at all?
I haven't watched any of the trailers for this one.
They got rid of, like they're not going to do Mega Evolutions, even though by and large everybody loves Mega Evolutions because it makes useless Pokemon useful.
Yeah.
So they're getting rid of that, but they're doing what's called Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, which is the Pokemon just get freaking bigger. That's it. They get bigger, so they have better stats. Yeah.
That seems like such a cop
So
out.
right, and so they're gonna add raids now, like Pokemon Go, where like, hey, there's a Gigantamax Pokemon. It's got this special move that only it can learn, and that's the only way to get it to with good stats in that certain move. Is to go do this raid.
Pokemon Go is a sham.
Well,
So I haven't
yeah.
bought new Pokemon games since Black and White. That was the last one I played. I play on like Pokemon Showdown.
Yeah, I play in Showdown.
Whatever. That's how I get my Pokemon fix now. I used to play tons, but I just don't have the time to like perfect IV breeding and EV training, everything.
Well, that's why a lot of people just use hacked Pokemons, like PK Hex is one where you can just hack whatever you want, and they let you use it competitive because technically a Pokemon like that could exist. So
that's why I really would like to know what their alternative is to breeding. Then I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, taking breeding out, because breeding is stupid. It takes a stupidly long time.
Not if you know what you're doing.
Okay,
no, I'm serious. I'm not saying I'm not looking down on you. I'm just saying.
He totally is, but that's okay. You're welcome to. What I'm saying is, no matter your workaround, and I know a fair amount of the workarounds, because I'm not gonna go figure that shit out myself. I watch tutorials, but no matter your workaround, that is still a time-consuming, grindy thing, which certainly it should be, but to the layperson, it's also like really, I don't know, kind of exclusive. It's really like you really got to be committed to it. I don't know.
That's fair. I don't know. I like it because, like for example, if you use two different Pokemon, like one's from another country or something like that. Mm-hmm. They have a way higher chance of being shiny, one of the eggs does.
Yeah.
Like doubles or triples their chance of being shiny. So like I had a perfect stat, like a 31, 31, 31 in every stat, Ditto, that was from Japan. So like whenever I wanted a Pokemon,
good. You just breed it with the Ditto. Yeah,
right, because it had a way higher chance of being shiny, and then it had great stats, and you could pass that on. The stats pass on, that's what breeding's for. And then like certain moves and stuff. Sometimes you can't use Ditto.
It's almost like it's almost like a different version of Magic the Gathering. Like if you
I'll follow you for this ride.
No mana. I'm not talking about. I know there's mana and stuff in Magic, but
there's
you're fighting creatures, and like basically the way he figured out that he can make these creatures shiny by using a Ditto is almost like using a creature that adds fly or something to other creatures in Magic. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna call you out. No, but no, that's been around for a while. I like how much effort you put into include me in this.
And wait, that was not. Wait, first off, I used to play Magic the Gathering. I know you do, but when he said that, I was like, where else have I figured out? Like, because once you figure out a certain card combination in Magic Gathering,
sure, there's strong combinations and synergies. For certain. I wish you could go buy Japanese cards and combine them to get foils.
No,
that'd be pretty dope.
But like, how do you catch a Japanese Ditto?
You trade for it.
You trade for it? You talking about a card?
No. Like in the game, an actual.
In the game?
Yeah, you can get on the internet and trade with people.
Oh, you guys can do world trades now?
Yeah.
So
you are 30.
So when Suzuki
is that
time out. So when Suzuki Mitawa has a Ditto, how did you talk to him? How did you translate? How did you do that?
There's a subreddit, Our Pokemon Trades. And
time out, man. That's some secret. Reddit's the dark web, basically.
How is Reddit the dark web?
Reddit's the dark web.
It's like the third most popular site.
Reddit is the entrance. Reddit's the entrance to the dark web. Like
you're thinking of 4chan, man. Reddit is like filtering out all the nasty shit on 4chan.
All right, I was not trying to include you. But I wanted to talk about Spider-Man, but the more and more I think about it, since he hasn't seen it, I don't think we should talk about it.
Wait till the weekend, I'll go see it.
Yeah, and I guess we'll talk about that later, and then we're going to have a Battle Royale. What game are we playing.
You said Smash, but whatever. I'm down for it.
I'll do Smash.
Smash, Mario Party,
Mario Party.
whatever,
Mario Party,
whatever we
anybody
want
can
to do.
win. That,
Yeah,
Mario
yeah.
Party's scary.
You know what's weird about Mario Party? That little guy with the fishing pole with the cloud.
Lakitu guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Lakitu.
Lakitu's his name.
Well, I think that's just it's like Koopa, right?
Okay.
That's a more general name.
Well, Lakitu, when he predicts who's gonna win, or is that Toadstool that does that?
I haven't played Mario Party since 64.
Dude, it's always right. Like, oh, looks like Princess is gonna win, and like Princess is in last place, and then Princess wins. So why is that? How's that happen?
You got the bonus stars on, dog, because that is awful.
You can turn off the bonus stars.
I don't know in the major game modes, but when you're just playing like with a party of like actual
I haven't played Mario
players,
Party.
you can turn them off. It's kind of to have them on. I think
What the heck, dude? Because like,
because you get there and it's like who had the best gas mileage, and they like get a free star, and you're like, what is this?
it was like who had the best like camaraderie or whatever, and I'm like, what?
Who
And
got
like,
third place the most? Why do they get like,
Yeah.
stupid? Yeah.
okay, I didn't know
You
that.
get smoked out of nowhere.
So maybe probably Smash Brothers or some kind of fighting game. We should play some kind of fighting game.
I have Pokken.
What?
I have Pokken. I've never played it. It's a Pokemon fighting game.
Oh, okay, and then I just got Super Mario Maker 2.
Yeah, I've never
And
played
then,
it.
yeah, and then what else? Marvel Alliance 3 is going to come out. We can talk about that later on the next show. But yeah, that's it. That's all we have for you guys. Thanks. You guys want to say bye or
Buyer.
do a little thing? All right.
All right.
You guys.